With all of the daily Xenoblade 3 news coming thick and fast, there may be a few details that you missed, so I'm quickly going to go over 10 things you may not have noticed in Xenoblade 3. The Zephyr class or Twin Rings appears to have a unique counter-attack mechanic. Barely visible at normal speed, a projectile is fired at the enemy when dodging attacks, dealing some damage back to the enemy. This appears as purple text on the enemy, which ordinarily refers to spike damage, so this may just be a skill or gem which causes a spike effect, but in every clip where purple numbers appear that we have seen so far, the Zephyr class appears to be the one who is attacked, suggesting to me that it is unique to this class. There is a unique icon which has been shown a couple of times through a few different screenshots and clips. Turns out that this icon is actually referring to this glowing thing on this rock. We have seen similar looking things scattered across what's been shown so far, but interestingly, it is normally red instead of green. I speculate that this is a form of field skill, and the colour is telling us whether we can complete it or not, with red saying we can't just yet, whilst green saying we can. The area we have seen the most of so far is Millick Meadows. What's interesting to note, however, is how many different levels to this area there are. Within the English version of this clip, we can see a familiar sight being one of the guideposts from Xenoblade 1, and this appears to be the same one that has been shown within the screenshots. Referring to these images alone, it appears that Xenoblade 3's location will be far more advanced than any previously, as most areas in prior games didn't really alter the elevation that much, especially compared to what we can see here. Lucky enemies will be a new feature introduced into Xenoblade 3, and it appears as if you will run into them fairly often. These enemy types have been hidden in the footage ever since the second trailer, and in some clips you can see multiple lucky enemies practically right next to each other. We still don't know if their spawns are predetermined or random, but either way, it seems like we will be seeing a lot of them when exploring the world of Ionios. The Great Cop Falls so far is the area that I am most looking forward to, and within it is where Colony Lambda is located, along with Iserd. This colony was shown in both trailers, but it looks a little bit different in each of them. This is because for some reason and somehow, this colony is now upside down in this scene. From what we can see in both trailers, we can make out the same platform that Iserd walked out onto being on the ground, along with the legs now being in the air. I have no idea how this could have happened though, as the only ones who we know of who might be able to flip something this huge is Lanz and Senna's Ouroboros or Mr. Wild Ride. Gem crafting was recently shown off in one of the recent screenshots and revealed this new Nopon currency. We have no idea currently how we acquire said coins, but I would guess that we can exchange other items we don't need to obtain these coins instead. What we do know is that we can use these coins to craft gems. You can choose to use either the materials required or spend these coins instead to acquire your selected gem, and this should help to reduce the burden on grinding certain enemies to get the specific materials necessary to craft them. Another recurring mystery that has been shown off in these clips has been these beams of light. They appear to shine up in two colours, being yellow and blue. We don't know for sure what these beams are used for just yet, but they don't show up on the map, suggesting that they aren't overly important. By zooming in very closely on the images we have though, we can see that the base of the object looks like this. My guess so far is that it is a type of key item we find out in the world, but at this point, it could be anything. A new character has been spotted in the Volume 4 art. This appears to be an Agnes Gill who is wielding a very large spear, with a flag on the end. Presumably, she is going to be another hero that we can equip onto the party, and due to her weapon type, I believe she may be Kamuravi's student, or have something to do with him. We did recently catch a glimpse of Senna wielding what appears to be Ethel's weapons, so this may be her Agnes counterpart. Sadly, however, this would likely mean that Kamuravi is not going to be a hero, and thus isn't going to have the chance to be playable. For the first time in Xenoblade, Fast travel points will be listed differently depending on the location you're traveling to. Landmarks are returning and will most likely be the most common type of fast travel location. Secret areas may be replaced by unexplored areas and will likely be located in hard to reach places. Finally, the last type of skip travel point we have seen so far is the campsites. These are supposedly going to be scattered all over Ionios and may be seen pretty regularly when exploring. Lastly, when writing this video, I was going to talk about characters having more than 3 arts, but that has recently been confirmed anyway, so instead, I'll talk about how each character appears to have multiple talent arts as well. Exceed Buster has been shown in its own clip, but Noah has recently been seen to have the talent art Infinity Blade as well. Interestingly, Noah keeps this art when using Senna's Crusher class, suggesting that every party member may have a talent art which is universal. We may have seen this animation already as well, as it appears that Noah becomes a typical Japanese swordsman and slashes quickly after unsheathing his blade. I'd speculate that every character has their own unique talent art, which will be unlocked as we progress through the story, and I look forward to seeing all of the amazing animations. And those were 10 things you might not have noticed in Xenoblade 3. If this video has helped you to discover something new, smash the like button, and whilst you're there, click subscribe so that you can stay up to date with all the latest Xenoblade 3 news. That said, I appreciate you watching this far into the video and hope to catch you in the next one. Peace out, guys.